Hey gang, today I'd like to talk about how to keep your relationship with your spouse. We're going to presume, for the sake of argument, or for the sake of this video, that your spouse is a genetic woman and you are a cross-dressing male or someone who believes they may be transsexual. Okay? Now, there's obviously a lot of therapy to be done here that I can't do. I'm not a psychologist, but this comes from my life experience and all the folks that I've known and the couples that I've seen who can make it work. Okay, you've told your spouse about your desire to cross-dress, and she's not having any issues with it. Hey, if she's not having any issues with it, then I don't know if you can get anything from this video. Maybe you can. Now I'll preface this. I'm gonna beat up the crossdresser here, and I'm going to ask the spouse to really look deep down inside her. Okay, so everybody's got to work, right? I feel like Dr. Phil, except I don't think Dr. Phil could rock this wig. I'm calling it love over labels. All right. Biggest issue I've seen when a man comes out to his wife that he's cross-dresser or transgendered is immediately she says to him, well, if we stay together, then that makes me a lesbian, and I'm not a lesbian. Okay? Once again, you got to have that label has to pop up. Okay? It doesn't mean you're a lesbian if your husband does something that society doesn't agree with and you still love him, because he's a good man and he's a good father, and he has a lot of personality characteristics and traits that you kind of think are cool. Okay, now you found out about another one and it's not so cool, but you got to try to give him some time, and you got to think about it and let it settle in. Going to go right to the crossdresser now. Okay, give and take, right? You told her that doesn't mean that you can just crossdress anytime you want to or shove it down her throat. Okay? So you got to temper your desire to crossdress with her desire for you not to crossdress. And you got to find a happy medium. You can't go overboard. I've talked about this in my 10 Commandments video. You'll drive her away. Okay. Back to the spouse, the lady, or the other lady. This man loves you, and this man is trying to deal with something internally that he doesn't really understand, and he's trying not to let anyone know about it, but it's getting the best of him, and he wants to share it with you because he loves you so much and you're so important to him. Okay? Take your time. Don't do anything rash. Don't make any decisions when you're angry. Okay? You got to make decisions calmly. So I think for the most part, a lot of couples could really work this out if they could just get past the label thing. Okay? My wife and I have been married for 30 years, and I told her before we got engaged. But I also knew there was something more to my cross-dressing, and I told her when I got engaged, before we got engaged, I don't know how far this is going to go. Now, you don't say that if you just think all you're ever going to do is wear dresses. But I knew back then that there was something more to it than just the clothes. Okay? Anyway, I didn't clearly state what it was. I'm not going to throw that up at her whenever she gets angry with me. That well, you knew all along. This is a big deal. This can be a strain on a relationship. But we've raised children, and we've stayed together, and we've done pretty well for ourselves, and this doesn't have to get in the way. Okay, now I want to go beat up the cross-dressers. Recently on Facebook and other social media, there's this trend now where everyone's talking about husbands who try to help their wives around the house, but their wives don't thank them often enough, so they don't even bother anymore to try and help out. And the trend is, or the point to that is, husbands, you're not helping out. You get the clothes dirty, you get the dishes dirty, you make the floor dirty. Clean it. You live there too. You're not helping her do her chores. You're doing what you need to do because you want to live in a clean house and have an organized home. Okay, you're supposed to be partners, and I'll tell you one thing. I've talked with couples with cross-dressers and their wives, and me, I get a kick out of it. I love it. It makes me feel more like a girl, okay? Because I got that social thing stuck in my head that housework is women's work. I'll get on my hands and knees and scrub the floors. I'll do all the laundry, and I know how to do it. Hey, when in doubt, guys, just hang it up, and then you don't shrink it in the dryer. I do all the housework. She does all the housework too. But when there's time, I do it. Okay? It's a partnership. Right now we're putting a room addition on the house, and I'm doing most of that work. So I don't have time to mop the floor, so she's doing that while I'm putting up walls. Okay? So, when that's over with, then I'll get back to helping out around the house. But I've talked to so many couples whose husband loves to wear her clothes. Oh, isn't it so cool? We're the same size, and this is so awesome. And gosh, I hope the neighbors don't catch me leaving the house. And at the same time, I go, well, do you do the laundry? Do you clean the floors? Do you take the kids to school? Do you do any of that stuff that somebody that wears dresses and high heels might do? And their wives go, no. So what I've seen is, if you're willing to talk the talk, try walking the walk as well. Okay. Now, yeah, society says these are all feminine things and women do this work. Okay. It's not right. Just like it's not right that society says men can't wear dresses and high heels. But we all think of housework as women's work. So you know what? If you want to look like a girl, if you want to act like a girl, if you think you might be a girl, try out some of them girl chores. And that might make things go a little bit better around the house. Oftentimes we don't really know, because we're not in touch with what's going on in our wife's head, that she's angry or resentful about something else. Oftentimes us not helping out enough, if you want to use that phrase. I hate to use that phrase, but that's how most people would say it. And if you did help out a lot, and if you were more like partners, news like this might not anger her so much, because she'd probably be in a better frame of mind to accept it. And I hate to say this, because this is a support channel for transgender people, but it's also an educational channel for civilians, as I call them. But I'm always going to be on the side of the wife. I'm always going to be on the side of the woman, because this is something that you throw at her. It's not something that I did. See, my inclination was to tell somebody, okay, this is a big deal. I need to tell her. And you know what? If she accepts it and it goes away, it's all good. If she doesn't accept it, then I tell the next girl, and we go from there. So that I didn't, and I understand why you didn't tell your wives when you got married, before you got married, because you were in denial. You were trying to stop. You believed you could keep it a secret. I get it. You didn't really do anything wrong. You didn't do anything, dishonest on purpose. Okay? But as we grow older, these urges get stronger and stronger. And if you are transsexual or heavily transgendered, that girl inside you, she's not going to stop. And she's just going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing until you got to tell the people in your lives that are closest to you, because she's got to come out occasionally and be seen and heard. And it's sad, and that's just the way it is. Society's rules have caused men to be this way. You know, and try everything they can not to be this way, and eventually they realize they're either going to be like this, or they're going to go crazy, or they're going to commit suicide. Be honest whenever you can about your feelings. I know women appreciate honesty. You know, if she asks you if she looks fat in those jeans, lie, okay? But the rest of the time they appreciate honesty. You can get through this, or maybe you can't. And a transgender friend of mine whose wife divorced him because of this says to this day, my wife left me because of another woman, and I was that woman. And it really hurts, and really feels sad. But you can't expect some women to just, you know, drop everything and accept you. You got to take it slow, and that's what my wife are doing now. I'm even, you know, HRT, hormonal replacement therapy, can also go a long way towards curbing your desire to cross-dress. I know I've said I'm the anomaly, but I know there's other people like me. The dressing for me was mostly the only way I could think of to express myself as a woman. And it became more and more intense and more often, to the point where something had to be done, or we were going to split. We were going to separate. Well, when I got on hormonal replacement therapy, you know, I still refuse to say the words, but I'm going to say them for this video. I feel more girly inside, or more like a girl now inside, that I don't have to express myself outwardly that way. I don't have to go out and have people, you know, accept me as a woman, or see me as a woman. I don't have to show people that I'm a woman because of the way I feel inside. Now, yeah, I like to dress up for these videos. I think I'm a little prettier than the other way. So, and I dress up occasionally and go out with friends and do things. I'll go shopping. You know, I get out. But the urge isn't there. And it's so cool because I'm out looking like a man and feeling like a girl, and really going, you know, this is okay. I don't have to do it. And that takes a lot of strain off the relationship. And it doesn't end your sex life. Okay? Another thing people are afraid of. Well, if you start taking the hormones, then you're going to be a woman. My wife still doesn't see me as a woman. She doesn't look at me as a woman. She doesn't call me Rachel. I'm okay with that. I asked her if she could give me one piece of advice to tell couples when I did this video, and she said, tell them to be honest. My wife accepts me as a man, and she accepts what I'm doing here. She's supportive of me. She likes the fact that I'm feeling more nurturing, even to my fully grown children. I want to spend more time with them, and I want to help them out, even though they're not even around anymore and they're off being independent, living their lives. I want to help them more. That's one of my main priorities now. And it just, you know, sadly, it wasn't before. I was so self-centered with expressing myself or dealing with this cross-dressing thing and this transgender thing that I didn't have time to you know, really nurture and love my kids. I mean, I wasn't a bad father, but now I'm kind of more like a mother in the way I feel about them. And that just, my wife's ecstatic about that. My relationship with my wife is better now than it ever was. Been together 30 years, and sit and laugh. for hours together. You know, this is good stuff. And this is why I'm trying to help everybody else with this advice. You got to get some. Love and peace to all. And let's just try to accept one another for who we are.